Lent begins on Wednesday, March 2nd, 2022. That may seem like a long time away, but it's going to come up very quickly. And I can tell you that it is far and away not too soon to start thinking about what you are going to do for Lent. Here's why. You need time to assess your life, to take a look at yourself deep inside, and to see what are really the things that you need to work on during Lent. I think so often it creeps up on us, and suddenly everybody's racing around going, "Oh, what am I going to give up for Lent?" And what are you doing for Lent? And thinking about, there's a lot of comparing. Basically, we compare ourselves with others. Well, so and so is giving this up. Well, maybe I should give that up, and so on. Well, those are good things, but really, Lent is about change. It's about conversion. It's about conversion. And what we need is deep inner conversion. Well, the only way to get that, the only way to strive for that during Lent is to know yourself really well. And the time to start getting to know yourself really well is right now. Every single day, every night when you do your examination of conscience, before you go to bed, and I sure hope you do. It's very important. Or maybe you do it in the morning, doesn't matter. But every single day, when you do your examination of conscience, take a look at where are your weak spots? Where does it seem like you're really lacking in your spiritual life? That's what you need to zero in on during Lent. So I want to give you 4 questions that you should ask yourself every single day between now and March 2nd when you do your examination of conscience. Well, so the first one is, what sin do I find myself confessing over and over? So when you go to confession, what sin keeps coming up? I think we all have one of those. It's the repeaters, the repeat sins that are just, it just seems like we cannot break free of those. Well, that's going to tell you a lot about what you need to work on this Lent 2022. So what sins do you find yourself confessing over and over? And then the next question is, what spiritual practices do you find it hardest to maintain? Is it morning prayer, night prayer, meal prayers, going to mass? I hope it's not, but it could be. Could be that going to mass is a real challenge for you. Maybe you never say the rosary. Maybe it's scripture reading. I mean, there's tons of them, tons and tons of them that I could bring up. But the point is this: what spiritual practices do you find hardest to maintain? Doesn't matter what anybody else finds hard to maintain. It's what you find hardest to maintain. That's what you have to start looking at for Lent. Maybe it's not so much giving up something as it is adding in something. Maybe what you need to be doing during Lent is giving yourself an extra 15 minutes a day to say the rosary, or an extra 10 minutes a day to read from scripture. You see, what are those spiritual practices that you are really struggling? Maybe you haven't been to confession forever. Well, guess what you need to do this Lent? That's right. Go to confession, not just once, but as often as you can through Lent, to really clean your soul and really strengthen yourself against those repeater sins, against those weaknesses. So then the next one is, what triggers sinfulness in me? What are your triggers? Where do you find yourself most easily falling? So, for example, could be certain foods where you just can't resist and you just turn into a real glutton. Can't stay away from them. So, could be certain people in your life where you just you just absolutely, there's that one person you just cannot bring yourself to be charitable toward. That's a trigger. That's a trigger toward sinfulness. Maybe emotions. Maybe your emotions often are out of control. Maybe certain situations elicit in you emotions that lead you to sinful thoughts or behavior. Yeah, that's what you got to practice during Lent, staying away from those, working on those things. Maybe it's entertainment. Maybe you really fall short when you turn on the podcast, the music podcast, and the lyrics are suggestive, and suddenly your mind is rolling in the wrong direction. Maybe it's binge watching TV shows that aren't very moral. Whatever it is, look for your triggers. What triggers sinfulness in you? That's what you need to work on during Lent. That's what you need to purge yourself of during Lent. And then finally, what faults get in the way of my spiritual striving? Is what you need to ask yourself. What faults get in the way? So, my goodness, I could go on forever and ever. I could, if I talked about my own faults, that would go on forever and ever. But do you have a tendency toward sloth, where you just, I don't feel like doing it. It's not that important. Yeah, well, that's a fault that you need to work on. What about what about too much? And I know everybody picks on this, but it is true. What about too much internet time? Huh? What about too much screen time? That absolutely, that weakness of just falling into that. You turn on the television, or you open up the browser on the computer, and before you know it, it's 3 or 4 hours later. And you have just poured out all of this time into an endeavor that it isn't spiritually uplifting. It hasn't helped you a bit grow closer to God. Okay, the faults. The faults. Are you very impetuous? Does that get you into trouble? Do you have a bad temper? These are all faults that can lead you to sin. And even if it doesn't lead to out and out sinful behavior, it definitely gets in the way of you getting close to God. And again, like I said in the beginning, this is all about conversion. This is about coming out of Lent a better person than you went in. That is very, very important, because each Lent, we should be coming out a better and better person. Can you imagine that if we all worked on that? So start now. Start now, my friend, and start watching yourself. Observe yourself. Where are your downfalls? Where are your weaknesses? What are those sins that you find yourself having to confess over and over and over again? And then also, what are your desires? If you imagined yourself as a model Christian, what would you look like? That's what you need to start working toward during Lent. And so now's the time to make your checklist. You don't even have to have your resolutions lined up yet. But what's the checklist? What do you need to be working on? What's going on in and around you that you know is getting in the way of your total conversion in Christ? Hey, thanks for tuning in. Please check out my website, margefenelon.com. If you go to margefenelon.com, you'll find my bookstore. You will find my gift shop. You'll find out how to book me for a speaking engagement. You will also see my blog, and if you subscribe to my website, you will get a free ebook, 9 prayers I say every single day. These are powerful prayers. They're so very helpful. They've been a great help to me, and I know they've been a tremendous help to many, many, many people. You don't have to say all 9 every day, but it's a great resource to have, margefenelon.com. God bless you, my friend.